Welcome back to the functions unit. Today we're going to be talking about understanding solutions to linear equations. And we need to start with the definition. X and Y values that work in a linear equation are what we call solutions. So we're going to be looking for things that work inside our linear equation, and that's what's going to make a solution. We're going to look at different scenarios on how to find solutions. So let's get started with that right now. So here we are at example A, and it says complete the table with solutions for y equals negative 4x. So as we've talked about before, we know how to find y's if they give us x's, which they have. And when we plug those x's in, they're going to give us the solutions to the numbers that we have. So in this case, our first number is negative 8, so we're going to plug that in or substitute. So y equals negative 4, substitute in our negative 8, then we're going to just multiply those together. 4 times 8 is going to give me 32. Well, negative times a negative is going to give me a positive, so I'm going to end up with positive 32. So that's my first solution. So my first solution is negative 8, 32. Now I'm going to do the same thing with 0. So I'm going to take my y, I'm going to plug in my 0 inside parentheses. Negative 4 times 0 is 0, so my next solution is 0. Then I'm going to do the same thing with that 14. So I've got y equals negative 4, and I'm going to be plugging in 14, and then negative 4 times 14, negative times a positive is going to give me a negative, and it's going to be negative 56. So that's my next solution. And my final solution, I'm going to be plugging in 94 here, so y equals negative 4, plug in my 94, negative 4 times 94, remember a positive times a negative is going to give me a negative, so I'm going to end up with negative 376. So that is our final solution. So are these the only solutions to this linear equation? No, they're just the solutions to the numbers that we were given. So when asked for a solution, we have to determine if the numbers they gave us work inside this linear equation. So in this case, they gave us negative 8, 0, 14, and 94. So the numbers that work for these solutions are 32, 0, negative 56, and negative 376. Now let's take a look at a different way to determine if something is a solution. So here in example B, this time they've given us ordered pairs. So they've given us both our x and our y, and we have to determine if these are solutions to the linear equation that we have. And the linear equation we have this time is y equals 3x minus 5. So we're going to start with 6, 13. Now we don't need to plug in both numbers. We only need to plug in the x and determine if it equals the y that we were given. So we're going to take our y, we're going to write out equals, take our 3, and we're going to plug in 6, since that's the number they gave us, and subtract 5. So now 3 times 6 is 18. So then we have 18 minus 5, and 18 minus 5 is 13. So is that the number that's in our ordered pair? It is. So since the y equals 13, and 13 is the number in our ordered pair, this is a solution, because when we plugged in the 6, we got 13. Now let's try it with the next number, which is negative 12. So in this case, we're going to use the same linear equation. We're going to take our y equals 3. This time we're going to plug in negative 12, because that's the number we were given, minus 5. So we're going to have to follow our order of operations. 3 times negative 12 is going to give us negative 36. Negative 36 minus 5, so 36 negative minus 5, and that's going to give us negative 41. So is that the number that is the y? Yes, it is. So this is, again, a solution to the linear equation, because what we plugged in is what we got for our y. Now let's try it for the third number that we have there, and that's going to be negative 1 as our x. So we're going to take our y, take our 3, plug in the negative 1, and then minus 5. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus 5, and then negative 3 minus 5 is going to give us negative 8. So in this case, did the y match what we did? Is it negative 8? No, it's negative 2. So since these two numbers do not match, it is not a solution. So negative 1 was not a solution because they did not both work inside our linear equation. Now there are 3 ordered pairs down there at the bottom. I want you to try those 3 on your own, circle the ones that are solutions in which they work, and then cross out the ones that are not solutions. I want you to go ahead and pause the video now, do those 3 on your own, and then press play again to see if you are right. How did you do? Were you able to get the answers that I got? Hopefully you did. The first one is not a solution, but the other two are, because when you plug in the x's, you get the y values that are there. Now let's take a look at another way to determine solutions in a linear equation. Now here we are, and in this time we have solutions to the linear equation on a graph. They've graphed our linear equation for us. It's a line. Remember, all linear equations are going to be lines. And on one side, they've listed solutions, and on the other side, they've listed not solutions. So I want you to take a moment and take a look at the solutions and take a look at the not solutions and determine what you notice. What makes the things that are a solution solutions, and what makes the things that are not solutions not solutions. So I want you to pause the video now, think about why you think the solutions are solutions, and then press play again to see if you are right. Okay, hopefully you saw that solutions are only ordered pairs that fall on the line. So the solutions have to be on the linear equation in order to be solutions to that linear equation. So 2, 3 is right here, that's on the line. Negative 3, 7 is right here. That's going to be on the line. 0, negative 1, right here, that's on the line. And 1, 1, those are all on the line. So they are solutions. The numbers that are not solutions are going to not be on the line. So 5, 5 is over here, not a solution. Negative 6, positive 3, not a solution because it's not on the line. 0, negative 6, also not on the line. And 1, negative 4. Not on the line. So since those points are not on the line, they are not solutions to our linear equation. Now, knowing what we know about graphing linear equation solutions, let's take a look at how we can use that information to find solutions on a graph. So here in problem C, it says use the graph to complete the table with solutions to the linear equation. They gave us the x's, but they didn't actually give us a linear equation. So we can't just plug in and figure out what the y's are. We have to use the graph. Now, lucky for us, they did put a line, they did put the linear equation on the graph, and based on what we learned in our last scenario, the numbers that are solutions are the ones that, or the ordered pairs that are solutions, are the ones that are on the graph. So if I've got x is 3, I'm going to go over to where x is 3 and then figure out where the y is on the line. And in this case, it's down here at negative 4. So when I go over to x3, I have to get to the line in order to make a solution. And in this case, that point is negative 4. So when x is 3 and it's on the linear equation, y has to be negative 4. I'm going to do the same thing now with the negative 6. So I'm going to go over to negative 6, but again, I have to go to where the line is. So it's up here at positive 2. So my solution is 2 when I'm given negative 6. Same thing now for the 0. The 0 is at here in the middle, but I need to go down to where the line is, so that's going to be at negative 2. So my solution for that one will be negative 2. And finally, I need to do that with the 9. So I'm going to go over to positive 9, but I have to go down to where the line is, so that's right here, and that's at negative 8. So that's how you can find solutions when you're given the x's. You have to look for where they fall on that line, and that will tell you where the y's are. Now let's take a look at one more graph to find solutions. So here in problem D, they gave us the linear equation as a line on a graph, and they gave us a table, but it's incomplete. They gave us some x's and they gave us some y's. So I'm going to find one of the x's and I'm going to find one of the y's, and then I'm going to let you fill in the other two. So I'm going to start with the 4. And since I know x is 4, I'm going to go over to where the 4 is. And then I'm going to need to go up on that line to figure out where the y is. And that happens to be way up here where the line is on the 4, so that's going to be positive 8. I'm going to skip the 0. I'm going to let you try that one. And I'm going to go down to where it says y is negative 7. So in this case, instead of going from side to side and then matching the line, since I'm looking for the y, I need to go up and down. So I need to go down to where negative 7 is. So I'm going to go down to negative 7 and where that is to find my x. So here I've gone down to negative 7, and where that is on the line for the x is going to be negative 6. So that's going to be negative 6 for x when my y is negative 7. Now that I've done those two for you, I want you to try and fill in the rest of the table. figure out what that x is, or figure out what that y is when x is 0, and figure out what that x is when y is 5. So go ahead and pause the video now, try those two on your own, then press play again to see if you are right. How did you do? Were you able to find the 2 points that I did? Hopefully you found 0, 2 and 2, 5. If you didn't, go ahead and fix your paper so it looks like mine. That brings us to the end of this video. So if you like this video, go ahead and throw us a thumbs up. If you love this video, go ahead and throw us a sub, and we will catch you in the next.